Thank you for being here. I've got Greg Cercone. I don't even know how to describe you yourself. You've worn so many hats. You're sort of like Mr. Basketball to me.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but let me.
I do have a hat on today, though.
You do have a hat on today, and what does that hat say?
Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park.
LP. We'll say LP.
We're going to get to Lincoln Park. Don't you worry about that. We're the true success. Greg, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And I know before this, we were talking about how did you get your passion for basketball? You said it came from your father. Tell me about your father.
Yeah, truly, thanks for having me, Greg.
Yeah.
Truly introduced to the game at a young age. 3 years old, basketball in my hand. Dad was a collegiate player at University of Pittsburgh, was a point guard, was a championship basketball coach in the 60s. And, retired when he had a family, got married, had kids, and truly never got to see him coach, but was introduced to the game as a coach's son.
Okay.
Good instruction at a young age, always around the game, going to pit games at a young age. Truly having a passion for basketball, introduced, by my father.
And I have to ask this question. Being a point guard, how tall was your dad playing at Pitt?
5'9".
5'9".
I think they say as you age, you get shorter.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So it's probably like 5'7" now.
5'7".
Right. But he'll be 89 in 10 days.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. So is that the position that you grew into?
It's an interesting question because I started as a point guard, and then as my career evolved in the college, I turned into a shooting guard.
Okay.
So at Quigley Catholic in high school, point guard, Valley Forge Military Academy, first year there, right out of high school, prepping, they're like, you're a shooting guard.
You're a shooting guard.
I think it just evolved. As you turn into a college player, they want to play to your strength. So,
and then you did have some success. Tell us a little about your playing success.
So, graduated from Quigley Catholic, played there, was fortunate to have a pretty good career there, set some school records.
Like what kind of school records? Give us one.
Points in a game.
Okay.
Points in a season.
Okay.
Threes in a game. Threes in a season. Threes in a career. I should know these, right? You would think with my memory, Whippeal playoff threes in a game.
Did you still hold all of these?
When the school closed, yes.
So basically, we had to close the school, and you kept all your records.
I think so. I think one might have been broken. That's.
I went to Quigley too, so believe me.
That's ironic.
Yes.
Yeah, I think maybe one was broken.
Okay.
It was an interesting story because then I coached there.
Tell me about that.
So in 2009, I got a call from a friend that said the Quigley job's open.
Who was that friend?
Anthony Palumbo.
Okay.
Who was also a Quigley grad who had a son on the team and said, I think you should look at this job. And I did. And it turned out to be tremendous experience going back to my alma mater, trying to revive the program a little bit. And I had coached every year up until that. But that was my first head coaching job. But I had a player that was really good, Jay Fida. And Jay was a 1,600-point scorer. And he had 39 points through 3 quarters. And I knew that my record was in jeopardy. I said, Jay, you're done. You're done tonight, Jay. Take a seat.
That's what I mean, protecting those records.
Right. True story. That's a true story. So, it was interesting to be able to coach somewhere where you spent time as a player. And I had a lot of pride, in that position.
Yeah. I mean, was Driscoll still there?
The athletic director was Ed Dubas, but Mr. Driscoll, as everyone knew him as Mr. D.
Mr. D
was my athletic director when I played.
Yes.
And, we talked a little bit during that time when I took the job.
Yeah. I mean, similar situation. I coached there for tennis, and it wasn't, I didn't even apply. I got the phone call. I got the phone call from Mr. D.
Nice.
I don't even know if D knew my name. He referred to me as Foot Fault. That was the only term he knew of tennis.
You had a nickname.
And he just didn't say no. That's where we went to school. And I was like, okay, they needed this. I was 22. I thought it was insane, but
Sure.
wow, what an opportunity that they gave me. I wish I knew how good of an opportunity that was. And it looks like you were able to take that further than I was. So, what was that experience coaching at Quigley? I mean, did you have pressures? There's no school board there.
I think probably the only pressure was self-inflicted, right?
Okay.
Pressure to want to win. I think the really neat part about it is I could always tell the players, I've been where you are.
Yes.
If we know some of the same teachers,
Yes.
Mr. McLean, Mr. Wax.
That's right.
They had some of those same teachers.
Right.
I understand if you're Mr. Wax's class.
Right.
The challenges.
Yes.
And Mr. McLean was he could relate to the student and he made learning fun. And I can understand why you did well in math, but maybe you didn't do well in history.
Right.
It was different. And so that was a really neat experience for me to be able to relate to them. And, I stood where you stood. I was in your shoes before. And you have a lot of passion and want to win and want to be successful.
Definitely.
Because you have a sense of pride in the school.
Yes.
And it's something that's important to you.
Yeah.
And I cared a lot.
Yeah. And that's what I like I think of you as a passionate person.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank
you. I see some of myself in you that way. And I guess whether people like it or not,
right,
we have opinions.
Sure.
And
Sure.
But they come from a good place. They definitely do. Yeah. Like we're probably not the best politicians.
I don't mix my words.
Yes, but that's fair. You get what you see, and we don't get that from everybody.
Right.
So after that, where did you venture after Quigley?
Neat little story. So my dad takes me to Valley Forge Military Academy on a visit after high school, and on the tour, I turned to him and said, "I'm not going to school here." He said, "Yes, you are." In my tour, the gentleman that took me on a tour, who's now the governor of Maryland, Wes Moore. Wes, if you're watching, we got a lot of connections. Dad, there's no way I'm going to school here. And they gave me a basketball scholarship.
Okay.
I left saying I'm not going to school here. And 2 months later, I'm standing in formation at Valley Forge Military Academy. Like, I can't believe I'm here. The best decision I've ever made.
Good.
Just from a basketball standpoint, some of the camaraderie and some of the relationships I've built with guys. One of my teammates, fast forward at Valley Forge, his son is now on the team at Lincoln Park.
Really?
Rakai Lum. Rob.
Okay.
Rob ended up playing football at West Virginia. Great friend. And his son is one of the important parts at our team at Lincoln Park.
Wow.
And I guess we could get into that. But
yeah.
Then at Valley Forge, I got a ton of experience.
Okay.
Just, getting to be out in that Philadelphia area, play basketball on a higher level, see what's out there. And, we played across the country. So being able to see what else is out there was huge and opened my eyes as a player.
So, and I know the term now, was that considered a national schedule then, or what was that? What did you consider that back then? I know now I hear this.
So some of the teams we played was Fork Union Military Academy, Hargrave Military Academy, University of Pennsylvania's JV team, Princeton's JV team, St. Joseph University JV team, Lafayette. So we played a lot of
shooting guard.
Played shooting guard at Valley Forge.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And for me to wear a uniform, right? The neat thing about Valley Forge was you had to conform. It didn't matter. Some of the alum, Norman Schwarzkopf, Larry Fitzgerald, J.D. Salinger, Wes Moore,
and Greg Cercone.
Well, I don't put me in that. Julian Peterson. There's a gentleman who writes for ESPN, Jesse Washington, who stood here last week, and Jesse is doing a memoir on Wes.
Okay.
And I always tell everyone, I thought he was a pretty good player. Jesse sent me a text that it made me feel so good. He said, Wes remembered how good of a player you were. I said, Jesse, Wes is going to be the president one day.
Yeah.
And Jesse goes, I don't disagree with you. Jesse wrote the book on John Thompson, and he writes for The Undefeated, and he's played basketball at Yale, and that happened right out here at Rice.
Okay.
You really made me feel good, Jesse. Thanks. Because I know you're genuine.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Right.
Well, obviously accomplished player. We got into your beginning of coaching at Quigley. Where did you go after what accomplishments did you have at Quigley? Where did you take that program? What did you start with that program? Where did it go? How did you leave?
So we early in that first season, we took our lumps.
Okay.
We were 4-18. We didn't win a lot of games. Very frustrating. I have a friend that we talk all the time about where it was and then where we left it. So 4-18 to fast forward to the next year, we clinched the playoffs.
Really?
Beat Swickley Academy by 1 point, 1 bucket to win the game, to get into the playoffs, where we broke a 20-some-year streak. So the last time Quigley had made it was when I was a player.
And what was neat is, I think I can say this, we were the broke private school kids at Quigley.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was exciting. It was exciting. Yes.
But it came full circle.
Yes.
Player, then coaching.
Yes.
Seeing the joy beating Swickley Academy was unbelievable. They were the defending WPO state champ.
Definitely.
So to beat them and get in the playoffs.
What an accomplishment.
Guess who we played in the playoffs the first round? Lincoln Park.
Really?
Want to know that score?
What was that score?
Not good. Close for a half, and then they blew our doors off.
Who was the coach there?
Mark Javins was the coach.
Okay.
And Mike Brisky, who's the current coach now, was the assistant.
Okay.
It was like a 4-point game at halftime.
Okay.
Maybe 7, maybe I'm exaggerating. And then you looked up halfway through the third, you're like, oh, we're down 30.
Brisky ever bring that up to you?
Of course. Talk about that all the time. Coach B, of course. Because I never thought I'd be wearing Lincoln Park blue and gold.
That's great.
Right.
It always comes full circle, doesn't it?
Sure.
Many things in your life have come full circle like that. So after that program, where did you go after Quigley?
So I did 1 year after Quigley, I did 1 year as an assistant at Hopewell.
Okay. Under who?
Under Doug Williams.
Okay.
So the matriculation there was, I left Quigley, and I spent a very short time, we may have to edit this, at Robert Morris on a Division I staff. And that didn't last real long. 6 months maybe. And then got back into the high school game as an assistant at Hopewell. And then I took another job, but we won't mention.
Why?
We weren't going to mention that. And then I ended up at Beaver. So if we back up and go to Quigley, I guess one of the accomplishments I'm proud of is my second and third year at Quigley, we went to back-to-back playoff experiences.
Yes.
For the first time in the history of the school.
Yes.
In my last year, we lost by 2 to Cornell, who eventually went to the WPO championship. So to be able to see, okay, this is where we got it.
Greg, it's incredible you remember all this stuff.
I do.
Do you sleep at night?
That's my dad. Everyone says that. They're like, how do you remember all these things? And I just have a gift to that if I see something or I remember it.
Do you remember the wins more or the losses more?
I remember pretty much everything. I could probably
talk
about, I could, if you asked me last night, tell me the kid from Uniontown's best player, what shoes he had on, I can remember that. I don't know if that has anything to do with the type of brain that I have, but I have a really good memory. I don't remember how you lost in the WPO championships in tennis, Greg, but if I was there, I might remember. So
I remember the losses.
I do have an interesting story that, you want interesting people. This is how my mom and dad met.
Okay.
So my dad was a player at Pitt.
Yes.
And this is also a neat story because it comes full circle. So my dad is playing at the Carrier Dome. He's a junior at Pitt. Jim Brown is the legendary Jim Brown Hall of Fame running back. He's playing at Syracuse, who played football, basketball, and lacrosse.
Okay.
My dad is running for a loose ball, and Jim Brown runs him over, breaks his nose. My dad does not tell the trainer, doesn't say anything at all. Goes back to Pittsburgh. Now, my Uncle John, my mom's brother, is on the team also. My dad, John Leneve, is my Uncle John, and my dad are teammates.
Okay.
My dad goes to the hospital. My mother's the nurse. He said, yeah, I broke my nose playing basketball. And he's trying to be humble. She said, oh, where do you play? Like, did this happen at the YMCA? And my dad said, no, it happened in Syracuse, New York. And my mother said, well, what are you doing there? She said, I play for Pitt. She said, oh, my brother plays for Pitt. My dad said, who's your brother? John Leneve. That's my teammate. Goes back, they do whatever they do back then for a broken nose. And he tells my Uncle John, this story gets good. This is an interesting story. I met your sister and my Uncle John. I want to introduce you to her. I want to fix you two up. They've been married 52 years, 3 children, 2 grandchildren, 2 accomplished attorneys, and me. I'm not one of those accomplished ones. This story gets real good. Just follow me here. I get the Quigley job. Win Palmer, who's since passed, legendary coach at Sewickley Academy, championship coach, is asking me my first year at Quigley, why did you get into high school coaching? I start to tell him the story. He goes, Greg, I got goosebumps. Hold on. He goes, I coached in Virginia. He goes, wait, that's your uncle. I said, yeah, coach. He goes, your uncle coached at Holy Cross High School and won the state championship when I was at Flint Hill. And I said, yeah. They beat us by 40. That's the year my first year. I go back and I go to my parents' house. I call my Uncle John. And in his deep southern Lynchburg, he goes, don't tell me you lost to them, Greg. And I said, they beat us by 40. He goes, you lost to Win Palmer. I said, Coach Palmer's team's legendary. I said, they have a state championship team. He said, you may not be in this family much longer. But it happened. And that, yes, that Win and I started a relationship based off that story.
That is crazy. Your mom and dad.
That's how they met. Jim Brown. So I would see Jim Brown on movies, and I would say to my brother, like, he broke Dad's nose. Like, that's how we're here.
That's incredible.
Or you'd see Jim Brown. You know, he became an actor. Pretty neat story.
That is incredible.
Yeah, pretty neat.
That is incredible. Tell me about Beaver. Coaching at Beaver.
Who's listening?
We're all listening.
No, I mean, some of the relationships that I made with players and parents and just meeting, the right people. I still talk to a lot of those guys. I think the one thing I took away from coaching there is I wanted to go to a public school and in a prominent place like Beaver and try to have some success. And we went to the playoffs twice there.
You did.
2 times in 3 years.
You did.
We won a playoff game. It was interesting because I think at that point you had Blackhawk, Central Valley. Ambers was number 1 on the Whitfield. That was probably our signature win there. When they came there as number 1 team in the Whitfield my first year, and we upset them. Huge win. But you're coaching against legends, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Coach Jula was at Ambridge. Brandon Ambrose is not a legend, but he's a championship coach.
We love you,
right? But my point is, you're able to test yourself and your coaching prowess against guys who've done it and won. Mike Mastrani was a Quaker Valley legend.
That's right.
Coach against Coach Mastrani. I'm having lunch with him tomorrow. So these are relationships you build through coaching. And it was pretty neat for me to be able to try to say that, okay, I've been a head coach before. Now let me try to go somewhere and really win.
Yeah.
And maybe the wins and losses weren't what they, people thought they should have been, but I was happy with where we were.
How many years were you at Beaver?
3.
3 years.
3.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, as Beaver's going through the same thing right now. You've seen I think public school coaching is tough.
No doubt about it.
I mean, last night, you were part of a coaching battle, success, Lincoln Park. Who'd you guys beat last night?
Beat Uniontown.
Yeah.
In a rematch. We played them in the Whitfield playoffs, second round of the state playoffs. Tough game.
You guys were, my son was very into it. I think you guys were down by 14, 15 at one point.
23-9 after the first.
Yeah. We were like, holy crap, what's happening?
No panic. No panic from the coaching staff.
Okay.
And as everyone knows, Malik Thomas, who's one of the top players in the country.
No doubt.
Beba Cummings, who put an unbelievable individual display on. There was no panic. You could tell when you looked at them, we're good.
I'm glad.
He said, Coach, we're good.
Really?
The coach B, I heard in the huddle, we're good. And you're like, we're down 14. Good. Never wavered.
That's awesome.
Never wavered.
Yeah, I was at the Pitt game, I think, last Saturday. It was pretty cool to see, and they announced, Beba, he got up. And I had people behind me. They're going, where's this Lincoln Park? And they're looking things up. So, I mean, just things like that give a buzz.
Right. I will say this to touch on that. Exclude me. Our coaching staff, Coach B, Coach Noe, Coach Lucas, did an unbelievable job of keeping the guys engaged and not panicking. Okay. And I think the kids picked up on that.
Can we briefly talk about the coaching staff at LP? Is that all right?
Yeah. Hold on, let me check. Mate, I guess.
Okay.
It's your show.
Well, you got the info.
Okay.
Coach B, from the outside, interesting character, I think.
Character is correct.
Don't know, but looks like, how do I put this? It looks like he was the chief and was able to figure out how to put the pieces together. And for what he doesn't know, he's put the pieces there that do know, if that makes any sense. Like, obviously, well, Noe's going to be mad at me if we say that if you could shoot more. I would like to see a shooting contest between you and Noe.
It's already happened. I got a good story.
Oh, you do? You
want to hear it?
Okay, I want to hear this.
Okay, here we go. We'll get into Coach B.
Ryan, don't get mad at us.
So 2002 Harmerville Hoops Classic, they have a free throw contest.
Oh, my
I just
goodness.
told this story to Ryan's dad. And the contest started at 9 a.m. and it ended at 3. So you had to shoot in the first round.
Ryan, you're going to have to come on now because of this.
Ryan is an incredible shooter.
He is.
1,000-point scorer, Center High School, tremendous. And I didn't want Ryan to see me, but I waited until about 2:58 to go up to shoot because I wanted to be the last one to shoot. And I went up and I saw the board and it said the number one leader was Ryan Noe at 52. He made 52 straight. He was in first place. And I said, I want to shoot. I want to be the last.
How old are you guys at this point?
20, maybe 23, 24.
Okay, this is fun.
Ryan's 20, 21.
Right.
And I said, don't tell him. I said, I want to be the last shooter. But when he comes back, because you're playing in these 3-on-3 games, and then you're coming back checking the leaders board. And there were some pretty nice prizes, as I'll get into that story, but I'll tell it as quick as possible. So I got up, I made 84 in a row. So they put, I'm now 184, and then they take the top 3 scores. The top 3 scores, when Ryan comes back and he looks, and I'm watching him from afar, and he sees it and he kind of gets deflated. And he's like, geez, in this contest? And his dad is standing there, who's our bookkeeper and coach with us. And he's like looking, and he's like, well, they gave top 2 prizes.
Okay.
And you added your score. Well, Ryan made like 30. I only had to make 3 in a row to win the contest. And he was so mad. He's like, why didn't you tell me? Well, I won Mario Lemieux tickets. Nevillewood. For the Mario Lemieux golf outing.
We're going to give Ryan a chance to dispute some of this.
I think he'll agree with this story. But I got to walk by Michael Jordan. I got to shake Charles Barkley's hand because Mario Lemieux's foursome was Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, and I can't remember the other one that was in it with him. But I got to go to Nevillewood and I won these passes. And I'm like,
this is awesome.
No, he'd get to be here.
Did you take a picture and send it to him?
I didn't, because that was back when you didn't have
you didn't even
phone. You needed like a Polaroid.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But of course, if this fast forward, if I had an iPhone, I would.
So at least 2 of you right now that you've talked about, Ryan Noe, which we both love Ryan, coaches my son's AAU team right now, which you used to coach
back in the
day. And, right. We don't have you anymore now, but that's okay. We wish we did.
Because I don't want to be there.
We wish we did.
Right.
But so you and Ryan were accomplished players. Ryan's, I know his X's and O's myself. What do you think about Ryan as a coach right now?
Tremendous ability to relate to the players.
Okay.
I think that's a big part of it with him.
Yes.
Being able to relate. Very knowledgeable. He's been an assistant for how long, right? And he runs the defense in Lincoln Park for us. He does a great job of X's and O's because I think, that's a strength.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that he has too many weaknesses, but
yeah.
But Ryan's ready to be a head coach, and I think if he wanted to be one, he would be one.
Yeah.
And he could be one. But I think those are all intricate parts of why we're on this journey of trying to win back-to-back states.
Yeah. And you guys definitely. And let's not leave anyone else out. Let's Lucas.
Coach Will Lucas.
Will.
Right.
Tell me about Will, because the first time I saw Will was you brought him on your coaching staff when you were at Beaver.
Do you know that? I don't even know if you know that Will and I were teammates at Quigley.
I did not know that. I did
Will
not
was
know
my
that.
teammate at Quigley.
I thought Will was younger.
Yeah, well, he is. A couple years younger. My point is that we reconnected years later because he did.
He was not a point guard. He's a big guy.
It sounds lighter then.
No, he's a big guy.
It's funny how you get connected. I got connected through one of my. People are going to not even believe these stories, but one of my father-in-law's former athletes, who was a wide receiver, Jai Hill, was playing pickup basketball with Will, and he said, "I got a friend that you might want to help out." And he connects us. Years later, we connect. We meet at Beaver Starbucks. Will joins the staff at Beaver. We then go to Lincoln Park together. Will spent some time in the NBA.
He did. Like, that's what I mean. So
he left, I think, 2 years. He left and then the Bucks won the championship. Is that a coincidence?
Come on.
No, I mean, he was on staff there and obviously was around those guys.
Another quality guy.
Right. I think he brings a different level of experience.
Yeah.
Right. So many guys who spent time in the NBA that are now coaching on a high school staff. So, that part of what we do as a staff is really important. I think Coach B will tell you everyone has a part in what we're doing.
And let's talk about Boriski. Tell me what do you see him bring? Because he brought you on, and I mean, we can only assume that you're the shooting coach, right?
I think that Coach B has some uncanny ability to read the future, because my last year at Beaver, he goes, "If they ever get rid of you here, I got a spot for you at Lincoln Park." And I'm like, does he know? No. I'm like, how do you know they're going to try to get rid of me? And then fast forward, and I'm on a staff, which I greatly appreciate.
No,
it's been unbelievable.
It was actually a blessing. I think it was a blessing for you, because look where you are now.
Sure.
Yeah. So tell me about this run that you guys are on right now. What are we looking like? How confident are we? What are the obstacles? Don't tell me it's all going to be a cakewalk, because as easy as you guys won last night by 4, but it wasn't easy.
I think that the most difficult part of this, right? And I think as a staff, we constantly remind the kids it's not easy to repeat in any sport at any level, right? To be able to be back to back. And we did it at the Whitfield, right? We're back to back Whitfield champs. But the state run is a little different.
Okay.
Right. And I think the biggest part of that is making sure you're dialed in every game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Richard mentioned laser focus. We got to be able to do something. We got to get a sponsorship. What do you think, Scott? I mean, right? It's a no-brainer.
No.
Right. But you talk about laser focus and you talk about understanding it's not difficult if everybody is on the same page.
Yeah.
If you got 5 guys working as one, if you're locked in as a team, and that's truly what happened last night. And I think that's in the playoffs, that's really what we've done.
Yeah.
We've really locked in and focused on all the little things to be able to go on this run.
Basketball's tough, it only takes 5 people. Really, sometimes it just takes 2. But it's easy to get upset. It's easy for people to get lucky, be on. So, I think in any sport, to show how good you guys are, and I went to the Whitfield Championship when you guys were there. I don't think that was the finest basketball you guys could play, but you know what? That's a good team. When you're not your finest, you still win.
Find a way.
And that, Malik, I don't know you, but that dunk at the end was unbelievable. That was awesome.
Yeah, special talent.
But
I think if you talk about all the guys, right, all the guys that play, they all have a role.
Yeah.
Mikey Crawford's going to play Division I football at Buffalo. Dorian McGee is going to play Division II football at Cal. Vinny DePaula.
Yeah, what is Vinny doing?
Vinny's getting recruited right now, small college.
I hope so.
He's got some options. But, you look at Rakai, who I mentioned before, my teammate at Valley Forge's son. Everyone's got a part in this. Number one,
yes. Right. Nice guy, by the way.
Great kid.
Talked to him when you played Beaver.
All great kid.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
And I think the biggest, like I was talking about, the biggest takeaway of that is there's going to be nights where you're off.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be nights where you're not making shots. If defense is the mainstay and you stay together and you fight through adversity, you're going to come out successful. And that's where we are right now.
That's great. That's great. You know, what's up with the sweatshirt, by the way?
I don't even know if I'm, I don't know if I'm, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about the sweatshirt. I've turned into a Clippers fan.
Why?
So why not? Russell Westbrook was here for the grand opening at Rise.
Okay, we are, and that's where we're here right now. So I know you can hear some construction back here. It's because they keep on making this facility better and better.
Right. Sure.
Tell go tell us about the
So the grand opening back at the end of September, we had some big names here and some celebrity names, and got to spend some time talking to Russell Westbrook, and truly remarkable athlete, person. Spent time with some of the guests here, and just always was a fan.
Yeah.
Right. Always appreciated his game, and you watch a little closer when you get to know somebody. But there were some names here that were absolute kings and queens of the game of basketball, right? Major players. Diana Taurasi, Hall of Fame coach John Calipari, Hall of Famer Tracy McGrady, up and coming All-Star for the 76ers, Tyrese Maxey. I don't want to leave
all here.
All here. I don't want to leave anybody out, but it was a star-studded event for a first class facility. I mean, Rise is getting to be here every day. It's a tremendous facility. It's state of the art. There's nothing like it.
I'll just be honest with you. I heard about it. I heard about they're building this. I didn't know if it was really going to happen, to be honest with you. And I'm here. I see it. It's real.
It's real.
It's real. All the naysayers,
right,
it's real.
Right,
it's real.
Right,
it's real.
Right. I think the part of it for us that's been, almost surreal is you see a place like this, right? You have someone that's able to put it into existence, right? And make it so first class.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things. It's a first class, it's clean.
Yes.
It's got state of the art everything, but it's an opportunity for everybody in Western PA and the surrounding area to experience basketball and have a place where they can play.
So are you telling me, and you're getting this message out? Yeah, we're in Leetsdale, Sewickley, but this isn't just for Leetsdale and Sewickley,
Sure.
Right?
Correct.
This is for everybody. Right. This is for.
We will host teams from all over the country we plug the Russell Westbrook Signature Series that at the end of April and 3 dates in May that we will have teams from all over that will be competing at Rise in that Signature Series.
Will we be seeing AAU tournaments here this season?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have a full schedule of AAU. Hoop Group will have the Pittsburgh Jam Fest. They'll have some divisions here, which is, one of the largest grassroots basketball organizations. There'll be some big players here.
Do you think we could get Ambrose to bring a team here?
I think he's committed.
Okay. All right.
I talked to him this
My son wants to play here.
If I can get the guy to call me back.
Yeah. And then
I said, Beaver Area School District Guidance Counselor. Is that like you answer the phone less than guys that are, come on.
He's busy guiding young minds right now. Yes, that's what he's doing. Yes.
Hence the title Guidance Counselor.
Guidance Counselor. That's what he's doing. So I don't want to get you in trouble.
No.
But I need to hear we've heard about Greg Cercone, the basketball player. We've heard about Greg Cercone, the basketball coach. We've heard about Greg Cercone, the pure shooter. What about Greg Cercone, family man? Tell me a little about this. How many kids?
Let me be really careful here. 2 kids. I have a son, Peyton, 19-year-old, who's a college freshman.
Okay, where at?
Seton Hill.
Oh, good.
Seton Hill. And it's interesting because you talked about team sports. He's a jiu-jitsu guy.
So, really?
So Peyton started jiu-jitsu 4 years ago, and it's an individual sport.
It is.
For me, having to coach him and being at these tournaments and won some events it's just you, right? So to be able to support him from a standpoint where, I'm dad, I'm a coach, I know nothing about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I just know that when the other guy goes like this, you win. So it's you. You're in there by yourself. So I think that's probably the most important job that I have
Okay.
in my important coaching job is my sons.
That's definitely
Peyton and Maverick. Maverick's 4. He's a bundle of energy. And, my wife is also a coach. She's a track coach.
I know she is.
Yeah, she was a state champion, track athlete and a scholarship track athlete, and she coaches. And I think it's an interesting piece for him to be able to, have 2 parents who are coaches.
Yes.
But that's probably my most important coaching job that I'll ever do is my sons.
And talking about your wife right now, she's coaching. Last year they did pretty darn well, didn't they?
You talked about my memory, right? She's coached some state champion athletes herself. Her, Scott Markovich, who's the general manager, he jokes all the time. He said, "Greg, who don't you know?" And I'm like, there's some people I don't know, but my wife was blessed to be able to be teammates with Lauren Williams.
Oh, I thought you were going to say blessed to meet you, but that's
some people say that, right? The funny part about that is Lauren's a gold medalist, sprinter, and my wife maybe raced her in the Walmart parking lot in Chippewa.
Ooh. See, those are the kind of events that I like to see.
Well, let's say it didn't turn out too well for Greg. She was the fastest woman in the world.
Well, I think we had somebody on the phone saying that you might be able to shoot, but you can't run.
Not against the fastest woman in the world, but it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
That I met Devin, my wife, and Lauren was the maid of honor.
Okay.
My father-in-law spoke, and my brother spoke, and he said, "How am I supposed to follow up a sports agent that's all decorated in the Olympic gold medalist?" He said, "I'll say this, and this is probably what I'll put in a nutshell about my wife." He said, "Devin has been so supportive of Greg in his coaching career that I wouldn't be here without her support and her, ability to believe in me."
Yes.
Because I had some seasons where, I probably could have been a little bit more nicer, but she understood it because she's a coach herself. And I think all the people that you meet in your life, right? You're surrounded by, people think you're name dropping, but you're surrounded by these people that are high achievers, well accomplished, and you take a piece of what they have accomplished or what they've learned along the way, and it forms who you are.
Well, I'm glad you said that because, this last year, even our coach, Casey Kaiser at Beaver, I mean, his wife's a trooper. She's a trooper.
I think every coach's wife is a trooper.
Yeah. I mean, definitely the ups, the downs, and the noise that you have to listen to. And sometimes it's probably your wife has probably had to hear some maybe not great things, and
there's no problem. There's no problem, Greg. She's heard some
criticism. You know what I mean? It's but I sports are passionate. People are passionate about sports. I think sometimes it doesn't need to get personal, but it does get personal. But it things happen. But yeah, I can definitely see your wife being.
I think that the most supportive thing that my wife has done is, and she'll laugh at this, but I'm on the go sometimes, and she never questions, right? Last week I was at Villanova on a Tuesday.
Devin, he's on the road sometimes.
Villanova,
you always give plenty of notice, right, Devin?
Kentucky Wednesday to watch players that I'm, invested in play, train, and she understands that. I think there's a lot of situations where you don't have that flexibility.
No, you would. No. It takes a special person. Right. I saw that the medals at Whippeals, when they were given out, you didn't take it around your neck. You had them put it around your son's neck. Yeah, I saw that. Pay attention.
Yeah. You do. That's observant.
Yeah.
But I want him to remember that.
Yeah.
I want him to be able to, the really cool thing about that was he got to be on the floor where his grandfather played college basketball.
Yes.
Right. Where his dad has, coached. So he sees that. And you may not in the moment understand that, but for me, it was pretty cool to be able to have him down there on the floor.
No, that's really cool. Hey, get to see what dad does. Yep. You know what I mean? So I think that's definitely important. Well, who's up next for you guys?
North Catholic on Friday.
North Catholic. My goodness, we're still playing Whippeal teams, aren't we?
That's what the state playoffs looks like right now.
Yeah. So tough team. You got to beat them twice already this year.
Yeah.
They have one outstanding player. I'm a huge fan of their coach, the way he coaches. I love it.
Coach Rocco.
Yeah, I love it. I love him. There's no one safe from not getting yelled at on that team. I love it. I love it. There's discipline. It reminds me of Catholic school basketball.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it. So
it'll be a good one.
But you guys got the talent. You guys got you guys you got.
You're looking for boys.
I don't think you have to.
I don't think I could give you any.
I don't think you could. You don't need to hope on that. But I'm sure it'll be a hard fought. I hope that these games are preparing you for whatever that's going to be coming up on the other side of the state. Who is on the other side?
One game at a time. I haven't looked that far.
Oh,
I just know that we play North Catholic Friday. I haven't looked that far.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's good. That is the proper answer I think you're supposed to give. Come on, Greg.
I know Hampton's somewhere on that other side of the bracket, but that's
all you know.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, I just really appreciate you being here with us. I'm hoping that everybody gets a chance to see who Greg Cercone is.
I appreciate your time.
And this great facility. What's the address? Where are we at? Do you know?
Rise Sports, 1201 Brickworks Drive.
Okay.
Leedsdale, PA. Right off of 65, 5 minutes from Swickley, 15 minutes from the airport, 20 minutes from Pittsburgh. So
great place. Great place.
Beautiful facility, as we talked about before. Beautiful.
Okay.
And I think that some of the things that we have going on here in the summer, we're hosting the USA Gold Camp. We have tournaments, camps, a lot of things that we can, offer to the youth for sure.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you, Greg.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, buddy.